What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Nick and Xavier. And today, guys, we're talking about UFC Australia, Prates versus Della Maddalena. Big fight for both guys. 170 is on fire right now. Islam appears to be fighting Ian Gary. I think that is going to be the fight, but a lot on the line for both of these guys. JDM just lost his belt to Islam. Prates coming off a crazy knockout over Leon. What's at stake for the winner and loser of this fight, guys?
Um, I would say a lot depends on how like Islam's next fight shakes out, obviously. Um, for Prates, I could see an impressive win over JDM. Like, let's say he got a finish over the former champ. I could see a world where like that does propel him to like the next title shot after Islam's next fight. Um, and J for JDM, just because of how he lost to Islam, I don't think that they're gonna be in a hurry to book that fight again. He'd have to win a couple more than I think one to get that fight back. So um he just kind of like holds his spot as the number one contender, kind of like the DDP spot, where it's like DDP might have to win a few fights to get back to Hamzat more than one just because of like how the first fight looked.
It's not even the same level as DDB. Let's start with that. But secondly, this fight 100% means way more to Prates. Because if JDM loses, then it's like he'll be more in the middle ground where he could win maybe two fights to get that title shot back just because maybe there's no one there. Where Prates for me right now, when you look at his wins overall, they are against, I feel, older opponents and people more on their way out. Like like the as great as the Leon knockout was, because no one does that to Leon. The man is about 36 years old. I don't know if he even is. He might be younger, but he looks 36 out there. So I'm just saying he hasn't beat a talent as young as JDM. And I think JDM has proven to be one of the better boxers in the UFC. Now, almost lost a boxing match at Bilal. We should all recognize that. No one talks about it, but we all should recognize that. And Islam went out there, this grappler wrestler, and outstruck him as well. So we don't know if he is a great boxer. He's no Josh Van out there just piecing people apart after the second round and just winning fights off his back shoulder, as he always does. But it's a way more important fight for Prates because if he loses this, I don't see him beating the top guys ever. Because he already lost to Gary in the way he did. And if you lose to JDM kind of in the same fashion, which we'll get to our picks in a second, but see, I don't see how you become champ at that point. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as like if there's a finish, it's probably gonna be from Prates, and if it's a decision, I'm definitely going Jack Della. That's kind of the story here. It's like the sniper versus the combo puncher. And we can start with the predictions. I'm gonna go with JDM by decision. I think he just outclasses him in front of his hometown in Australia. It's gonna be a really entertaining fight, but I think Prates is just gonna have trouble. He's gonna end up looking for that one shot a little too much. And kind of like you said, Clark, he doesn't have that signature dub yet. He has a bunch of highlights, like really fun, crazy highlights, but he doesn't have that name yet. It was almost Ian Gary. He almost finished him, but even in that Ian Gary fight, just he kind of got out activitied on defeat. And I think JDM's a better striker overall than Ian Gary. So I'm gonna go with JDM here by decision. He gets a rebound dub after losing his belt.
Yeah. It's like my mind's telling me JDM, my heart's telling me Prates. I can't. My mind always goes back to like how hard of a fight that JDM had with a very out of the prime Gilbert Burns. And no disrespect to Gilbert, like he was still like solid at that time too, but like I swear Gilbert Burns had that man beat if he didn't just like roll into a knee, with like a minute left in the fight or less. Um, and I have to think like, damn, like when I look at Jack's resume, it's also kind of spotty and like full of a lot of old heads. You know what I mean? Even though like even though Bilal was the champ as an old head. He's still an old head. Before that, Gilbert Burns as well. Like it's the Gilbert Burns fight. Like he was older. Before that, Kevin Holland in a splitty. That was a competitive ass fight with Kevin Holland before that. You know what I mean? Before that, Basil Hafez in a splitty. You know what I mean?
We
I'm
forget about that one. We really forget about that one, Ed.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
just
not worried about fights that happened like that long ago.
I feel you, but like that long ago was like only 3 short years ago. And I mean like yeah, my thing is this, like we haven't seen JDM in there with someone in their prime and when we did, granted it's Islam, so I'm not gonna hold it against them. But like me personally, I don't even think that JDM has even reached his prime. I think that he kind of got an opportunity that wasn't really meant for him and made the best of it. Hey, you hear me, Clark?
Hey, he beat Prime Bilal. That's a
You
champ in
know
his
what?
prime he beat.
You know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is this: that shot wasn't meant for him. I think that that was Shavkat's title shot that Shavkat couldn't answer the bell for. He was awarded an opportunity and made the best of it. But I don't think that JDM is finished developing even. And while I do expect him to have a chip on his shoulder, and I am picking him in this fight, I do something is telling me like I don't know, like I haven't seen him like I've seen him get clipped by old Gilbert Burns is my point. And I just think that like if Prates is able to land and he's gonna have a lot of chances to do so over 5 rounds, like I could see like him getting clipped or at least like having some moments to struck like getting clipped and having to like fight back in some rounds. Uh so I'm gonna take him in this fight tentatively just because one in front of the home crowd, two, I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder being like, having lost his belt and being the underdog in this fight. I think he's gonna take that personally. And three, like you mentioned before, volume. I think that he's gonna out volume Prates with his combinations in his boxing. And I think that if there's not a finish, like you said, that does kind of lend itself more to like his style of winning rounds with like the crisp boxing and the combinations and the volume. But I will say if Prates booms him, I will not be that surprised.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, to start off here, Bilal pulled out versus Shavkat, when he had to fight Ian Gary and beat an undefeated Ian Gary. But we'll start with that. But this fight, I am I've been back and forth about it the whole week. I will lean Jack Della Maddalena for the simple reason I think if they're open at range, I just feel like JDM will just throw more. Like this is pure volume to me. And I think Prates is just going to look for that shot. And as much as there's probably questions of JDM's chin and all this stuff, I do think the chin has looked solid for the punches he's taken. And, I know Prata is probably the most dangerous fighter he has fought, but I just feel like he is more fluid in his game. I think his striking is better. As great as I think Prates is, and this is very close to me just because I think Prates is like just one of those kind of killers, especially from the fighting nerds that are like, you know what? Why can't I spinning heel kick you right now in the face and be crazy? And he has all these kind of limbs. He'll throw everything, elbows, knees, Prates. He's a dangerous man in front of JDM right now. But I do think JDM is just the crispier guy. And as long as he stays safe, I do think he wins this fight, especially based on the Gary fight. Like, it kind of depends what you think. Like, do you think Gary beats JDM? I low key think he does. So, if it's between those two now, I think JDM probably beat Prades.
Okay, fair enough. Let's say at 170 really quick, because like we did touch on it. Both of these guys and Morales, they kind of lack those like big dubs, like multiple of them. Islam is our champ. Bonfim is coming up to fight Bilal. What are you guys' thoughts on 170 overall right now? And like how it'll look by the end of the year? There's a lot of moving cogs here.
I think that we need to see Islam defend the belt, or like just have his fight announced. That would give a lot of clarification to the division. Just because I think we all assume that it's gonna be Gary next, and if not Gary, Morales. But then we can start matchmaking the other guy at bare minimum, uh, and like once we know like what the fight is, we know that one of them is gonna need a fight, and we can start matchmaking them to try to set up like the next title challenger. I would say, if it's not like the winner of this fight, depending on timelines, just because Islam likes to fight like once in a blue moon these days. Um, but hmm, yeah, I just feel like once they announce that fight, then we can get a lot more clarification with 170.
No, yeah, definitely. Nick, do you want to come?
Uh, I don't have much more. Like, I mean, look, I think Islam and Ian Gary is the fight. Based
Definitely.
on what I'm hearing, based on it's gonna be International Fight Week, so I would assume that's the day they're choosing to bring this title fight out. Uh, but it's great for welterweight. Once Shavkat comes back, it'll be the best the welterweight's ever looked in its life once he comes back. But right now, I mean Morales, like super beat. Imagine they announce Islam Morales. Imagine that.
That'd be a
Like,
curveball, man. The UFC's done shit like that. I could see that.
and it would be insane. It would be more crazy, I think, than as much as there's hype between Gary and Islam for, Ireland versus Russia shit. I think like Morales has looked so good, even though apparently we're faking, records out here. I don't know how that's possible, but
We don't talk about that.
even so, he's undefeated in the UFC and he's looked like a beast in here. So
Ian
it
Gary,
don't matter if he lost before.
Ian Gary would act an ass on Twitter if he got skipped for that title shot. I
Oh, he
swear.
might fucking leave the UFC, bro.
He wouldn't, because like they have him under contract, but he'd be bitching and moaning. I promise. I promise.
We
Morales,
wouldn't be.
He is that guy.
Okay, look. So I have a question. Like at 170, like what is the best path that you guys see for like some of the up and coming guys like the Gabriel Bonfils, the Mike Malots,
Good question.
to try to like get some to like jump the middle guys, or like what is their best path to a title shot, or do you see a path for them to like even ascend, or do you think that the because if not, I would say like given how Sean Brady just looked against Morales, that kind of like takes him out of the contention to me. Uh,
He's fighting, yeah, Buckley
I
soon.
kind of feel like that kind of secured him in gatekeeper status. He just kind of seemed like he wasn't big enough to contend with Morales in there. And I think that that's kind of a problem that he would kind of keep having at the top of the division. So I kind of look at the real contender list in this division as Islam, of course, JDM, Ian Gary, Morales, Prates, and then on the outside chance, Kamaru Usman on some legend shit.
Yeah. The-
But beyond that, like even the gatekeepers though, Bilal, Sean Brady, these are some very quality gatekeepers, I would say. And like I can see them like really giving like issues to like the bomb teams of the world, you know? Kind of holding them down a little bit.
well, to answer your question, I think you got to do exactly what Bonfim is doing. You got to just take your chance at one of those top 6'5" guys. Luckily, Bonfim kind of got the weakest stick out of all of them, taking on Bilal. But like with Malat, I don't think it would happen. But like, try to get an Usman, try to fight Usman, try to fight who's ever available. Sean Brady if he loses, whoever wins the Buckley, if Buckley wins or loses, you just gotta try your hand at one of those top 5 guys. Same with Uruz Medics. I feel like he's a fun new guy at 170. Yeah, he's probably not gonna be champ, but yeah, I just think you got to take your chance on one of those top 5 guys. Some of them are vulnerable.
Catch them slipping on an old night. Fuck it.
I completely agree. And new to the rankings, tied for 14th for some reason, Yaroslav Omazov. He's a bad man. I mean, he's had one UFC fight, but a grappler, wrestler, you know the shtick. I believe he's Ukrainian. He's like 30-1 or some shit like that. But
29-1, yeah.
yeah, but like a dangerous man down there if we're gonna climb our way up through this division just through wrestling and striking and stuff like I think there's paths here. Like I think Bomb Theme, like Ed said, we're finding the perfect path versus Bilal Muhammad. This is the perfect matchup to try to win this. If he gets outstruck, he gets outstruck, but I think at least you picked a matchup where you know you can overwhelm him with your youth in the wrestling and grappling. And I think that's what you have to do. You have to go at some of these older fellas, especially Leon Edwards still at number 8, by the way. Like he need to be fighting down somebody. We'll see if he fights again.
I mean, the fact that D-Rod is at number 14, like, is kind of crazy. Like, this division is full of like people who need to get packed up out of the rankings, and like at the top, it's like so exciting though. Like the
True.
top five is very exciting in this division. It's banger, banger, banger. But then like after that, it gets really dicey. Like, and then you have like your MVPs, which like why can't he fight some of these guys? Why is he fucking fighting like
And
Sam Patterson's and shit? Like, what are we doing?
And really quickly, just to touch on Malat, just because he got a relevant dub recently, he's in the top 15. I don't like his chances against any of the like the big legit guys, like the top 5 at all. Maybe
I think
Bilal, that doesn't really count.
I think Malak got a little potential. I think he does. He's young enough. He's young enough. Let's look up.
All right, guys, let's talk about the rest of this card. It is really, really early in the morning for us, but that's okay. They got to cater to the hometown crowd. We're going to lightweight, guys. Quillen Salkeld, Australia's new golden boy, taking on number 12, Benil Dariush, plus 350 underdog. Dariush apparently said, you guys told me if this doesn't go well for him, this might be it. And like totally understandable. He's on a pretty rough skid here. He did beat Moicano, but besides that, he's been getting brutally finished. And looks like the UFC wants to see that again. What are you guys' thoughts on what Sal could do out here?
I've been doing it. I've been doing it the past like 10 seconds, man. This is the last thing that Darius is gonna see, man. Boom.
No.
It, man. That's it. He might get clubbed and subbed. He might just get clubbed. But Beneil Dariush is not probably making it out of these 3 rounds. I would be kind of surprised if he makes it out of one. Um, and this is not to disrespect him, but to one, acknowledge how good I think Quinlan Southkill is, and two, to just to show like the reality of the situation of Dariush in 2026. He hasn't looked good in a very long time. He did beat Moicano, but again, like this Moicano is not even the Money Moicano of a couple years ago. This is I have Money Moicano. I like to call him. He's not hungry anymore. And he is a more grapple based fighter. But against anyone that's just gonna try to strike Dariush, we like at at the highest level of the game, like you see that like it doesn't go very well for Dariush, and he oftentimes gets chinned around one. And Southkill definitely has the youth and power to put him out in front of his hometown crowd, man. I kind of see this as a setup fight. They're trying to like, give the Aussie crowds a nice pop moment heading into the main event, get them all jazzed up. And they unfortunately doing what we've talked about many a time on this channel, which is sacrificing Darius's poor chin to do so. I feel like
Rest in peace.
it's unfortunate because Dariush is a legend, and I would have wished he would have had a more graceful exit, kind of like Chiesa did, where like they sent him out with a couple of softballs. Instead, this is the life of a ranked fighter, man. When you're ranked this high, the fall from grace is very fall and hard. And that's kind of the reality of being a ranked fighter in the UFC. Izzy's having to unfortunately deal with this as well. You know what I mean? You can still be good, but once that chin goes a little bit, once you start to have a little bit slightly delayed reflexes, like, and the chin goes, like, it's kind of like it gets kind of ugly at the end. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen to Dariush here. I really hope that he retires after this. It's been a long and really great career. Got really close to touching the belt, man. But it's unfortunately time to close the chapter. Close this chapter of his life and add to the legend of Southkill, man. I think that Southkill absolutely chins him in round one.
I mean, I completely agree. I think the only way I see Darius winning this is out wrestling him and laying on top. But I feel like from what we've seen from Salvakild, even there, I think he's just athletic enough. And at this point, Darius is looking so old man out there for like a 37-year-old. Like it ain't like he's 40, but he looking 50 out there based on the way he's fighting. And look, a great career, no disrespect, but I mean Charles just ended it in that fight. I mean, he took the chin away, and it's unfortunate you ran into that man.
I think that the chin was already gone. I would argue, but give Charles the credit if you want, I guess.
Wasn't he on like a 7 fight win streak or some bullshit like that? And he was the favorite in that fight, by the way. Everyone forgets that, but he was the favorite in that fight versus Charles.
Yeah, I was always such a big fan of his style, but after the Charles fight, it did go downhill pretty fast.
It went downhill. My boy took him out. He took his career out. And but it was a good one. nonetheless, definitely great. Um, he was close. I mean, he probably should have gotten it. Like, I kind of forget what happened during that time. Like, he should have gotten it before the Charles fight, I feel, but I don't know what happened. But they ended up fighting. I don't know if that's when they were like, screw it, we'll have this Volk fight. I don't know if it was that timeline or what. But clearly, like, he couldn't get by Oliveira, and after that, it went downhill for him. But great career. I'll always remember the Drucker close fight,
Hell
which
yeah.
was very great. Looked like man was gonna get clipped, and then came back with a fury, like one of the craziest comebacks ever.
That's
Great.
that's my thing about him though. Like even before the Charles thing, like he always looked very slow. Even in his prime, his striking was like very accurate, and sometimes he could land. But he always looked slow out there and kind of old looking. You know what I mean? Like it did complement his like his early onset gray hairs, but like. Against Charles, it finally just caught up with him. You know what I mean? Like you can't just fight this because it was like, damn, like a lot of times I'd be like, this is not sustainable, but god damn it, he keeps winning. You know what I mean? And it just caught up to him against like the Armins of the world, the Charleses of the world, man. They started just putting it on his ass.
Shout out, Benny. Let's move to this featured fight. Steve Erzeg versus Tim Elliott here. Let me see. Tim Elliott ranked number 11, Erzeg number 12. I'll start with this one. Tim Elliott is a plus 230 favorite. I'm definitely taking Tim Elliott here. He is 4-1 in his last five, and Steve Erzeg's coming off. He barely beat Ode Osborne, which was a while ago. It was in August, and he's on a before that he was on a three-fight losing streak. And I just do not see how these odds are even possible. I've always been pretty harsh on Steve Erzeg, but like, what do you
And
guys think about this fight?
okay, and I'll start here because you got me going now. Who did Tim Elliott beat in those last
Kaya Sakura, bro,
out of
former
five
former
fights?
title challenger.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was gifted it from Ryzen. That's what he was gifted, and he now fighting Cameron Smotherman at fucking bantamweight, like in his third fight. So let's go after that, Ed. Who else has he fought?
See, let me
Who
pull up the
else?
rest. Pull up the resume.
Yeah, who is he? See this.
Uh,
Sure, it's world
Muda
class.
Mudazira.
Who?
I don't know how to say his last name. Then he lost to Mokayev.
Shock. Let's continue.
He got subbed
Alt
from the guy.
Alt Marino. I don't know who that is, but and then Ulanbekov. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's an okay win.
no, Tagir's a good win,
That's a
especially
good one.
especially because he was like out wrestling him, and like that's their team Islam Khabib, so like that's an impressive win. We're not gonna just disrespect it. That's a good win.
To counter that, Nick, Steve, Steve Erzik got slumpy dumped by Kygar France. That is unacceptable behavior, and you know that's a terrible out. That is a god. You know that is terrible. He got
It's not
slumped.
the best, but he's number four in the world. Wait, well, okay. Fight before Ulanbeko, by the way, he lost to Mateus Nicolau, who is now out of the UFC,
I mean,
by
but
the way.
he was nasty back then.
Like
You
out of the
forget.
UFC. So you know what? 22 and 13, my ass. Like he is not. If Ursev has any self-respect in this fight, he should win. Like surely.
Dude,
I
Like
mean, he's in front of
that's
the Aussie fans too. I mean, I would say this for me, the Urseg is very skilled in there,
this.
but his biggest problem is very clear. And it's something that, like, like many other fighters, he cannot control. It's his fucking chin. His chin is glass. And the thing is, though, Tim
Really.
Elliott is a mungy wrestler type, though. He's a grappler. And I think that Steve Ursay's grappling has always been like, a plus side of his game. And I would hope that he has enough defensive grappling to outstrike Tim Elliott while he can like, deal with like just not end up on the bottom for like too long. And I think that he should be able to do that in front of the Aussie crowd, man. If he loses this, I would say damn near cut him.
Got him.
Like
Thank you, X. Thank you. This is a fake fight. This is a
Ah,
fake.
you'll see. This is gonna be a boring ass fight. He's gonna out grapple Urzag, and like Urzag's gonna have no
This is
offense.
crazy. He beat Kaya Sakura, and now we're just gonna out wrestle Ursay, who like, I mean,
What? Urzag hasn't done shit,
look. Some people thought he beat Pantoja. We
bro.
didn't think.
None of us did. None of us did.
None of us did.
good though. He looked impressive.
Yeah, he
He
looks
looked good in that fight. Yeah.
impressive. So I'm just saying, if he loses this to a 22-13 Tim Elliott,
That's all I
Well,
was
also
gonna
he fought for a belt. Also, people forget.
and what happened? He probably got his ass. Oh yeah,
Lost to DJ.
me. Yeah, off the Ultimate Fighter, right? Where he was going to lose. Like it's a setup fight for that dude to lose, and so he like no, or if Usyk loses that fight, cut him immediately. Like there's no coming. I'm shocked Kaya Sakura is still here after the way he lost that fight, and we saw it live. Like it was the worst beat of the night, by the way, by far.
Maybe me seeing Tim Elliott live just gives me some hope.
Dude, he out wrestled a man who clearly did not train for it. Like, at least we know Usyk has something in there, like wrestling, grappling wise. So there's no way who. And how old is Tim Elliott again? I believe like almost 40.
I'm not sure, but he's definitely pushing 40.
Okay, easy dub, Usyk.
We'll see. Hey, we'll see. All right, well, we can bounce back around, but let's stick on the Australian page really quick. Tai Tuivasa versus Louis Sutherland, back against the wall for our boy Tai. I don't even know how many fights he's lost in a row. I'm not going to even look at it to disrespect him, but he is the favorite here, minus
It
190.
was like six. I believe it's six from memory.
I'll check for the culture.
It's five or six for sure.
It's five.
Five.
No, six. Sorry, you're right.
God damn, that's what I wish I was hoping. I was like five. Oh, maybe that's not as bad. Six,
Including the Gone 1-6. Yep, I forgot.
six, bro.
Damn.
Hey.
He should.
I really do believe he maxed out in the Gon fight and like he came so close to winning it. It was his Dominic Reyes moment. Like, Dominic Reyes came so close to beating John, and then he just coasted off that. I think Ty, in my honest opinion, stop trying to evolve. Stop trying to give a fuck about the game. Start coming in out of shape, like just kind of collecting paychecks, being in there, coasting off vibes. You know what I mean? Coasting off his name. He made a big name for himself. Being in a lot of entertaining scraps, culminating in that one. But then after that, I just felt like he just never gave the same amount of effort to me. Uh, but now they're giving him a fucking softball. Well, it should be a softball. And I really hope for the people of Australia, he just like gives a fuck and like wins this fight. And isn't Louis Sutherland coming in on short notice?
I
Short
believe so.
0-2 in the UFC.
Finished twice
Come on, man. They're teeing up a softball for Tuivasa, and I hope he can knock it down,
in
man.
Australia. Come on.
I am picking Ty, but I swear to God, I really want to pick Louis Sutherland because if Ty Tuivasa goes out there and looks the way he did versus Teixeira, he could definitely lose this fight, no matter who's in front of him. Like the gas out was crazy. Like like you said, X, he just doesn't seem to give a fuck right now. I'm not seeing it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a needs to train harder, just learn new shit. But I feel like he used to leg kick a lot, and he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't do the same things he did anymore. So like, maybe he did just hit his prime real quick, even though he's like 33, I want to say. And like, it's crazy. He could lose this fight. Like there is a very I think I give this man Sutherland honestly a solid 10% to win.
Oh my,
Like
okay.
there's a solid 10% and like just the way Tuivasa's looked, like he could just gas out is my issue.
I feel
Like
like 90's really good for Ty. Like you have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say it's way closer to like 65% for tie for me.
really okay. I mean he should win. Like
He
just
should.
competition. Like everything he's fought, like Louis Sutherland finished 2 times in the UFC and has not won any so far. And so maybe this is his prospect moment to just get a cheap win off Tuivasa, who I think is ranked again. And so he could get in there for no reason. And now we have another heavyweight like fake contender coming up.
My goodness.
But or at least Ty can like actually just like do what he used to do and should easily beat this dude. But I don't know. I really don't. I say a 90-10 just because of the past. I think if we're looking at calm, this is by far the weakest calm he's fought in years. By far. Like it's not close. And this dude coming off short notice, he might gas out before him, honestly.
No
True.
excuse for Ty. Let's I hope he gets it done, man.
He should.
Hey, speaking of another Aussie, man, we got fucking Atafa on this. We got Junior Tafa on the card, man.
Oh man.
Kevin Christian.
I don't even know who this
Yeah,
buddy is.
I did not know much anything about this guy, to be honest.
He's 6'7".
Oh, he's 0-1
He lost,
UFC.
he lost to Billy Elikana back
Isn't
in.
Elikana kind of okay?
Yeah, Elikana's pretty. I don't want to say great, but he's like
He
uh
just beat Junior Tafa, yeah.
yeah, he's a UFC fighter. You know what I mean? He's pretty good, especially for
Uh,
heavyweight. But
I don't remember how that fight went, so I don't know. But you know what?
ran through this man basically.
he got
Really,
subbed.
yeah, ran through this man.
Oh,
I mean, I believe that. Like, I don't even know this Christian guy. I've only seen him get ran over by Billy Alicano. But like, I have to imagine if the fight goes to round two, he has a chance.
Bro, Tafa is 1-4 in his last five.
he's
I
trash.
didn't know it was that. He's 6-5, bro. If he loses this, he's 6-6, bro. Come on.
Trash.
And he's a minus 205 favorite according to the UFC. That might be wrong.
I'm taking Kevin.
He's the fucking Jameis Winston of fucking of the UFC, bro. He's a 50-50 fighter, bro.
Someone help him.
That shit crazy. Anybody else?
Um,
Uh,
Malkoun a minus 1100 over Mearshark.
Oh yeah. Hey, the Jacob Malkoon, Quinlan Salkill parlay, everybody. Tap in. Tap in. It's gonna feed families for
I
sure.
wonder what the odds will be.
Put your house on that.
Give me a fight in the night and performance of the night prediction here.
Fight of the night's gotta be the main event, man. I don't see
For
how
sure.
it's not. Like I feel like a lot of these are like, the classic Aussie setup fights where they're giving Australian fighters favorable matchups. And that does produce like some good finishes usually, but it doesn't produce like great fights like back and forths. And I think that like, how closely matched the main event is, like I think it's set up to be a, potentially even a fight of the year contender, honestly. Like I don't see how these guys go out there and have a bad fight just based on like their styles. And the fact that they have 5 rounds to do it. So give me that for fight of the night. Performance bonus, I'm going to go Sal Killed for however he decides to end the career of Dariush. And then I could also see Jacob Malkoon getting like, knockout of the night or whatever, just because like I think that Mearshot's going to sleep.
I'm gonna go some rogue picks here. I think fight of the night, very underrated one, second one on the card. Damar fan. And remember that name, that man, what I saw the first fight, a beast.
Isn't it Street Buddha?
I think so.
Yeah, Street Buddha. Yeah, he's nice. He's nice in there.
And versus Cody Steele, who is a very young, up and coming prospect as well, who is very talented. And I think that could be a good scrap, honestly. And so I'll go with the Rogue fight of the night there.
Hell yeah.
I think they can scrap back and forth. Finish of the night. I'm gonna go with Cam Rouston knocking out Breezic.
And then what about fight of the night? Oh, wait, never mind, never mind.
I mean, I would probably just agree with Xavier, but fight of the night, maybe that Cam Rosen one just to be different, and then it ends in a crazy finish. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
Aussie crowds are always really lit. Fights there are usually pretty fun. I wonder how what the record would be for the Aussie fighters.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I was literally thinking that like they never have like all Aussie fighters like in every matchup for the most part.
Hell of them, yeah.
Like literally either New Zealand or Australia. Yeah. So that's pretty sick actually.
Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know your picks in the comments. Please go check out the TikTok, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.